Netflix is looking really unstoppable from the outside, but behind scene, there's a bit of chaos going on. Talks with EA and Disney, lawsuits piling up, and reportedly zero interest in Warner Brothers games. That don't sound like confidence. That's selective survival. So the question isn't whether Netflix is winning. It's rather they're quietly changing the rules because the old plan isn't working anymore. All right, let's stop pretending this is random news. EA talks, Disney talks, lawsuits popping up, and somehow zero interest in Warner Brothers game. That's not confidence from the looks of it from the outside. That's Netflix being very selective.
Absolutely. So the narrative problem is Netflix's recent positioning looks noted interest in buying EA or Disney, now linked to Warner Brothers acquisition talks, currently being sued by us, while simultaneously Warner Brothers gaming is worthless. The question becomes unavoidable. Like, hey, now there were earlier talkings, EA equaled live service, dominance, recurring revenue. That is so true. That is all EA cares.
Yeah.
That is on the nose. Or Disney, unmatched IP, plus, I have to stress this, merchandising power. I don't know if you all know this, but there are Disney stores across the country, and everything in them stores costs a premium. Because of what? Belongs to Disney. Now, the current pivot, Warner Brothers, equals heavy debt, IP rich, and operational strain. This signal shifts Netflix is chasing libraries, not stability. Opportunistic buying, not long-term vision. Netflix reported stance is Warner Brothers Games views non-core / low value. Gaming seen as expensive, hit-driven, and gaming is seen as expensive, hit-driven, and low margin compared to streaming, which they ain't really lying. They not lying. The reality is Warner Brothers Games owns DC, Mortal Kombat, Harry Potter. Those IPs are transmedia, perfect for games, shows, films. Netflix wants the IPs, not the means to exploit it properly. You may ask yourself, why buy Warner Brothers at all? Because Netflix wants HBO level of prestige. Theatrical pipelines, I don't know why I keep on saying theoretical. Iconic franchises such as DC, Wizarding World, cultural relevance beyond streaming originals. Netflix does have that in the bag with their Netflix originals, but baby, Warner Brothers will put you over the moon with what they have worldwide of their IP, not legacy infrastructure, labor heavy divisions, and heavy risk game development. Call it what you want to call it. Netflix they don't make video games. They are nowhere in the capacity, and I'm going to say that they're nowhere in the capacity to take on that type of risk management reward based on how they do things. They didn't get this way with taking these type of huge risks. They had a formula, they stuck to it. Subscriber lawsuits adds pressure. Netflix is being sued by a subscriber because of misrepresentation, pricing, service, and expectations, growing consumer frustration, trust erosion, and monetization fatigue. This legal noise weakens Netflix's position while it's in the talks of a massive acquisition, claiming other divisions don't matter. And I'm just going to say this. Lawsuit stems from a Las Vegas woman who feels that Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers will hurt competition and innovation in the streaming and entertainment sector. Meaning, hey, if they get all this wealth of shit, there's no reason for them to try and push as hard as they've been doing all these years. Optics are bad. The industry perception. Hollywood takes away is Netflix is no longer a disruptor. It's acting like a legacy studio without legacy motherfucking patience. Big swings, big dick money, unclear ear game. Gaming takeaway, Netflix doesn't respect the medium. It sees gaming as promotional tools, not pillar. Damn. Bottom line, Netflix's logic currently reads as, we want everyone's IP. We don't want the work required to sustain it. We'll figure out monetization as we go, which leads to the core questioning audiences are asking. Then why are you doing it? I'm moving to my co-host, Teresa.
Listen, my cousin ran through a lot, so I'll just go one by one. Why Netflix wants Warner Brothers and not Warner Brothers game? I think this is very consistent in what they've been saying. They want content. They want content. They want content. But people be like, hey, gaming is content. No. Not the kind of content that Netflix is looking for. They're saying yes to Warner Brothers for films, TV, and streaming, and no to the video games. The video game means And I think this is what Netflix is looking at, and the lens they're looking through. Video games means long development cycles, high burn rates, hit or miss returns, and studio management nightmares. And Netflix is like, no, 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 baby. What we do now, we do it well. And so that video game shit, yeah, I think there was a thing where GTA you could play from your Netflix account at one point. I don't know if that's still a thing, but they said no, 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 no. What we do is the recipe for making money, and so therefore we're going to continue on. And I think that's very on the hit on the nose. They're very consistent in the type of content they want and the reason why they want more content from Warner Brothers. Netflix does not want to run a game studio. Game studios cost a lot to manage in 2025. They want content libraries that they, like my cousin said, can monetize immediately. Sometimes games you don't get the reward until 5, 6, 8 years later, depending on your development time. So that really makes sense why Netflix is looking like that video game shit. Nah, because you know what? The only amount of money, what they make the money, they pay the scripts, the actors, they tape it, and then they release it. And Netflix is still one of those people that kind of releases the whole thing instantly. So they get kind of an instant gratification for their money invested in the season. And that's why so quickly Netflix can be like, hey, yo, this is the last season, we cancel it, or they could be like, hey, we renew for another season. I think that's a real tales of what they're thinking and the viewpoint they're taking. And I'm not saying they're wrong. Video games are very risky, you know, and then you got the thing where you're trying to monetize people, you got backlash and brand damaging. I think taking on Warner Brothers games, no matter how big their titles and how long those titles been around, I do agree with Netflix. It's not worth the squeeze. The juice is just not worth the squeeze. Just let somebody else, somebody who's already, got it in place and know what to do with that shit. And that might be better for consumers as far as the video game that Warner Brothers controls at this point. So I'm not really mad at them. Now, I looked into this point a few times because I was really interested because, you know, anytime you hear Netflix try to buy EA and Disney, I'm like, for one, Netflix ain't got the money to buy Disney in my eyes. Even with the bid on the table, Netflix has been reportedly still talking to EA and Disney, but this is a little different because Netflix strategy on the platform, license or partner on everything else. And that's an interesting tidbit. Now, if you already own the platform of Netflix and you can bring EA products onto that and just pay a licensing fee, what makes them any different than Steam OS? And everybody know Xbox plan, hey, just join our platform, join our ecosystem. Now, I think that's a really ambitious take. I'm not really sure if Netflix has really worked out all the things. Like I said, I remember GTA or something was on your Netflix. I didn't even know how that even turned out because I didn't care for it. But that's very interesting. They're not in talks to own EA or even own Disney. They're in talks with partnering with them and bringing some of their products. It's like my cousin said, Walt Disney, some of their products is a little but bringing the products that you know are safe and relevant to the Netflix platform is an interesting business plan to me, honestly. I can really see that going somewhere just because how we're consuming, and you look at Steam OS and Xbox, I think that could be interesting. Now, the lawsuit thing. Listen, lawsuits are the cost of playing at this level. Netflix is playing with the big dogs now, and not only are they looking to assume and consume a big dog, but this is really some eye-catching, eye-attention. Everybody about to be in Netflix business as far as their financials and the money. They really going to evaluate the landscape of, you know, who will be Netflix competitors that point. And so that's just the cost of being doing business at this scale. Listen, congratulations, Netflix. You've made it to the big leagues and you've been sued by everyday people for inconveniencing them. So listen, we see this all the time. Even the Disney and Fox got lawsuits from, you know, everyday people or even business people. But that's just the cost of doing business. And like I said, Netflix got enough money. They can lace whoever pockets that they want to, allegedly, to make this deal happen. And I think this deal ultimately will happen, honestly. Like I said, the patterns have become clear in Netflix's intent. And, you know, $84 billion for Warner Brothers bid equals total content dominance. No Warner Brothers games, avoid slow, risky things that could not make money and potentially lose money over a span of 8 years. EA and Disney talks flexible expansion. Instead of creating, it might be cheaper to bring somebody else's content on than to make new content. Now, I also want to point out, why would Disney do this when they have Hulu and the Disney Plus house? That's one thing that it's a little iffy on. But like my cousin has said, Disney in the last topic, Disney's not making, their profit margins aren't up to par in Disney's eyes. So maybe Disney is looking at this like, hey, they just spent $1 billion investing in open AI. Maybe they looking for some other streams of revenue and licensing out some products. I mean, there are Disney products on other streaming platforms. So maybe, and Netflix and Disney actually have worked together, because early Marvel original shows started off on Netflix. So it's not like they haven't partnered before. And I'll be very interested they try to do like a reunion in this sense. But, all this is speculative, and, we'll have to wait and see. But Netflix wants to own culture, not managing complex titles or products or video games content. So, but let me ask this to the audience, and you can comment below. Is Netflix building the most powerful media empire ever? Or is it setting itself up to be disruptive? I don't know. I think, like I said, my first thought is we have to wait and see. A lot of this stuff, we won't see how it plays out. If it's going to be in our favor, is it not? I think it's going to take some years and really see the outcome of these decisions, but we'll see. Especially if they're in talks with Walt Disney and their content and all that. We're in the wait and see, because Disney is making a lot of moves, like we reported earlier. So we'll have to wait and see. I think a lot of people, I've said this too, are positioning themselves and preparing for the next stage of entertainment, whether that's all this AI madness or whatever. But I just think people are loading up the clip, and they don't want to get caught with their pants down. And so that's why a lot of these mergers, a lot of these business agreements and stuff are popping up now. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll be really interested how Netflix is going to maneuver and how that is going to benefit them or negatively impact them in the next 3 to 5 years.
I like to add this one caveat. My cousin mentioned how, and I totally forgot about this, that Netflix and Disney has worked together on those early Marvel shows, the Luke Cage, the Daredevils, and everything. And once Disney got up on their feet with their services, they pulled them back. They took them off the service and got them in their own stream, as have many companies have done, trying to outcompete, whatever Netflix, and it has not worked. I would love to see how that works now in Netflix's favor when they go to talk to them, do whatever, and Disney's like, hey, when they're like, I don't care what you want. We are not the same Netflix we were so many years ago, my brother. That's not us, my guy. So this is what we're offering, and this is what you'll take. Otherwise, you can still stay in the situation that you are in. Check and what? But let us know how you all think about this.
It ain't nothing like, how you trying to teach a child a lesson, and you already told them how the story was going to end, and yet they went and did it anyway because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The same kid came back home all them years later. Hey, you was right. Now come bend the knee. You thought you could go do it on your own? Yeah, now you see them profit margins and all that, huh? You see you ain't making money all that. Yeah, come bend the knee. Come bend the knee. Oh God, yeah, this is gonna be entertainment. The survivors of the next 5 years. I really can't wait to see, because it's gonna be a lot of people that's lost in the sauce, and it's gonna be in the same situation of trying to get bought out.
And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, Are You Not Entertained?